was last year when Vandalci said, okay, a lecture is coming, Isabel. You need to prepare something, right? And right there my heart goes, ooh, 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 what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? And I start thinking then I was going to actually do a lecture one of those Mondays that we canceled because we couldn't use the room. And I was so relieved, and I thought, wow, that's so nice. And then one of goes, okay, you have already, let's do April, right? That's all good. So I'm here. So in December, I start thinking, I try to listen to my intuition. What can I talk about? What do I want to learn more? Because for me, doing a lecture is more learning for me, and then I can share a little bit what I learned with you guys, right? So time kept coming in my mind, time. And I kept researching, I kept looking around, and I'm thinking, this is going to be pretty hard for me to talk about time. And I finally got it as I'm looking for material. So tonight the lecture is going to be procrastination. Procrastination involves timing, and it's what I was kind of envision, what I want to talk about, because I'm sure we all waste time here and there, and because we are imperfect, right? I like to start, and you will see there is not a lot of slides. I didn't prepare anything. I decided to do a lecture the way I feel most comfortable, and I'm not good with technology. So here we go. Bear with me. To start, I like to read a case from the book Heaven and Hell. And that's the book I was actually reading at the time. I thought this is a good start. It's a good idea that we can try to illustrate the idea that I was thinking about on procrastination. And it's the case of Mitchell August, March 1863. Mitchell was a rich young Bolivian who enjoyed the material life largely and exclusively. Although he was intelligent, indifference towards serious matters was his characteristic trait. No threatening, good rather than evil, he won the hearts of his companions invariably because of his quality as a man of the world. He did no evil, but he did no good either. He died as a result of a fall from a carriage during a ride. He was evoked a few days later, a few days after his death, by a medium who had known him indirectly, and he gave a series of communications. He was first able to communicate on March 8th, but I'm going to use the one on May 11th, which really touched me, which is the one where the medium went to pray for Mitchell at the cemetery. And he says to the medium, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you to come to where my spear seems to be stuck to each shell, so that you might beg the merciful God that his goodness may ease my suffering. You can help me with your prayers. Don't stop. I beg you. I see how contrary my life was to what it had should been. I see the wrongs I committed. I was useless being while in the world. I didn't make any good use of my faculties. My wealth only served to satisfy my passions, my taste for luxury, and my vanity. I only thought about the pleasures of the body and not those of the soul. Will God's mercy ever descend upon me, a poor spirit who is still suffering from his earthly wrongs? Pray for him to forgive and free me from the pain that still afflicts me. Thank you for having come here to pray for me. And then on his last message on June 8, he said, I can speak and I'm thankful to God for allowing it. I haven't seen my wrongs and I hope that God will forgive me. And he said, it really touched me. Shape your life always according to the belief that animates you, for it has reserved a future repose for you that I still don't have. Thank you for your prayers until another time. What it got to me also is, let's reflect a little bit on, he did no evil, but he did no good either. And he still, as he passed, he was stuck to the shell, to his body. And we know a lot of times when people pass, either because they don't believe there is life after death, but they still attached, they do. And it's a kind of painful process. And to me, this case illustrates how procrastination, waste of time, can affect all of us. And we know there are many spirits waiting for a chance to start over, to come back, to improve their lives through reincarnation. And we have this chance, all of us here. We do have this chance. So what are we doing with the chance that was given to us, that we asked for? Well, we were just not even asked, we had to come, right? So not doing evil and not doing good, like Mitchell, his case illustrates to us, in my opinion, is a waste of time and opportunity for us to evolve. Just staying doing nothing, it's like he did it, he wasted his life, right? His reincarnation. To illustrate a little bit, these are the only two technological things. There will be two little short movies tonight we're going to watch. We'd like to watch a little video, and then we can talk about it. So that was a very short movie, just to give us an idea. There are a lot of feelings, there are a lot of things involved in why we procrastinate, right? And we all find one reason or another why we're not doing the things that we should be doing. And what is then procrastination? What is procrastination? So procrastination is to leave things that we should be doing today for another day. And if we think about most of us, we tend to leave things that are not very exciting for tomorrow. Like, for example, wash the dishes or do the laundry, a diet, an exercise. We always seem to find reasons. And then yesterday I decided to go for a run, but before that I had 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't be going for the run, right? I kept telling myself, no, I have to do this before. We distract ourselves and we don't really go and do the things we should be doing. And sometimes it is okay to avoid. If you don't want to do the dish tonight, if you don't want to run today, or if you don't want to do this right now, it's okay also to wait a little bit. But for some other times, there are important activities that if we keep avoiding and not doing, it might actually cause anxiety, it causes panic, it causes stress. And that is not healthy for us neither, right? Because it can lead us to produce less and we'll miss an opportunity to achieve our goals. So we have to have that in perspective. And before we go on a little bit deeper, she did mention anxiety. And there are mental health reasons and there are physical reasons sometimes why people are not doing the things they should be doing. And we have to be careful. If somebody has a severe depression, you're not going to say you have to get out and go for a walk. That is not going to happen, right? So for those people who have a thyroid problem or it's physical, mental, a professional help has to be involved in helping these people. But tonight, we're just going to explore procrastination is basically, for us, it's like a bad habit. Just leaving things that we know we should be doing for another time, okay? And as I was looking for some psychology, some science explanation, and there is a lot, I came across with an author, he's a writer, and he's also a behavior science expert. His name is James Clear, and I really like what he wrote about procrastination. So he said that all of us have faced one point or another in our lives, we had faced procrastinations. It's a human thing. Since we've been around, we have been strong with delaying, avoiding, and procrastinating on issues that matter to us. Why do we procrastinate? According to him, he brought some behavioral psychology research into the discussion, and he revealed a phenomenon called time inconsistency, which helps in his explanation to explain procrastination. So when he mentioned time inconsistency, he's referring to the tendency that a human brain value immediate reward more highly than future rewards. And he goes on, imagine yourself like if we have two selves, a present self and a future self. When we set goals for ourselves, for example, like losing weight or writing a book or learning a language, we are actually making plans for a future self. And we are envisioning what we want our life to be in the future. However, research has found that when we think about our future self, it's quite easy for our brain to see the value, and they see the value of taking actions now for the long-term benefits. So the future self values long-term rewards. Now, the future self can set goals, but only the present self can take action, right? So when it comes to make a decision, we are no longer making a choice for the future self because we are in the present moment and our brain is thinking about now. Remember, we value immediate reward. So the present self and the future self are always in odds with each other. For example, we all know that we need to eat healthy, right? To avoid being overweight in 10 years, to avoid perhaps a heart attack, diabetes, and all of that. But our present self is thinking, I want to eat this donut, right? So that is the struggle. So I want to be thin and fit, but the donuts here I'm going to eat because it's an immediate reward, right? So if you want to stop procrastination, he suggests that we should find ways, easy way for the present self to be motivated. And he said the motivation usually comes after starting, after we make a choice. So you don't get motivated right away, but if you start eating healthy, the motivation is going to come. If you start doing exercise, and I can say from my experience, 2 years going, the motivation came after I started, didn't come before I'm so excited to go. No, it comes after. So we have to start finding ways to make the decision of the present self a little bit more doable so the future self will benefit from. And because I'm not a psychologist, it's a bit hard to explain, I did find a YouTube video, and you're going to laugh a little bit, but it's basically the idea how our brain works around immediate rewards. So I think we can get more from there. I hope you like the video because I think it really explains a bit of the science that we do have, the challenge, how all of us deal with procrastination, right? And then after that, I thought we are here because we are spiritists and we believe in, there are many reincarnations and that we are eternal. So what are we doing with all those boxes, right? So how can we bring spiritism into the procrastination part of? So if you do want to look for more scientific researches, and there is plenty out there, but now I would like to bring us to the spiritual causes of procrastination. So we're going to go a bit more into the spiritual part. And I ask my question, and we start a lot here. Are there spiritual causes that explain procrastination? And yes, there are. And we know that, right? We could say there are two different sources for spiritual influence that influence us to procrastinate. The first one is ourselves. We are immortal spirits. We develop bad and good habits in our long journey of evolution. We have challenges to overcome, and every choice that we make will influence the direction that we are heading towards. We are also developing our ability to think and feel, which also influence our actions. And finally, the will. We have a will which make it possible for us to command our life to this or that direction. So we'll explain if we don't have the will to change. Will is what? Procrastination. We don't change. We don't move forward, right? And we are today a result of the previous existence, and we have the power to alter the direction of our lives by working towards our inner transformation, by reflecting who we really are. And he was quite clear to say, the ones that we have a deadline, the things that we have to do taxes, we have to pay the bills. Even if we leave for the last minute, we are capable to do. But in terms of our life, what are we here for? Who are we? Which direction we're going to go? It takes will to change and to work in inner transformation. With our thoughts and actions, we know we attract spirits, or they are with us due to the bad things that we've done in previous lives, and they can influence our thoughts. And sometimes the spirits can even make us feel a lack of desire to live the lives that we should. Some of us can feel sad. We can feel, I don't want to really do that. I don't have the strength, not today, like I say, tomorrow. And that is the way that we can procrastinate. How many of us have felt that we had no energy to do anything that we should be doing? I feel all the time, not today, I might try tomorrow, right? So we should be investigating the possibilities that is actually spiritual influence on those thoughts. And I went on Allan Kardec on the book, the Spiritist books, in chapter 9, he describes quite well the intervention of the spirits on our physical world. And we studied that already, but it's always good to go back and look at it. In question 459, he asks, do spirits influence our thoughts and actions? Then the spirit said, they often direct both. The influence is greater than we think. And it's quite clear because we know we live in a plan of trial and expiations, and there are many discarnated spirits around us, and it depends how we're thinking and acting, we know we're going to attract good or bad influence. So we have to watch for that too, right? On question 459, he asked, no, I did that one. So on question 471, sometimes it says here, when we feel a vague sense of anxiety, indescribable uneasiness, or inner satisfaction without any discernible cause, do these feelings simply result from a physical state? And the answer from the spirit is, they are almost always an effect of the communication that you unconsciously receive from the spirits around you, or that you have received during the sleep. Because as we know, when we sleep, we are communicating. We are in direct contact with the spiritual world, right? Is there a way to get rid of the negative spiritual influence in our lives? Of course there is. There are many ways we can do that. One of them is being here. It's coming to our studies. It's to come to our lectures, to the talk, to the discussions. There is a lot of preparation from the spirits in terms of energy, cleaning the environment, bringing positive energy, just sitting here sometimes, even if you're not feeling well, it's a way to recycle the energy, to get energy from the enlightened spirits, because they are with us all the time. We can practice the gospel at home, we can meditate, we pray, and we observe our daily thoughts and actions, and try to align those thoughts and actions with our Creator. Because it's very simple to get distracted by an everyday challenges that we have to face as humans, right? So it's finding the balance. How can I align with the Creator? Because He's always there. How many times we thought on coming to these meetings and something happened just before? You don't feel good, or the bus didn't come, or the car, there was something. But if you make an effort, you make a decision to come, don't you feel more energized when you leave? I hear, the other day, somebody said, I didn't feel well, I didn't want to come, but I made a decision to come, and I felt much better. And this person said, I could now reflect there was the influence of the spirits trying to keep me away from that environment. So we have to be attuned. We have to always think, what is happening? And see if we can really try to connect with the enlightened spirits. Are we all influenced and subject to the discarnated spirits on the same level? Yes, we are. How can we fight this influence? And I went on looking at the example of Francisco Xavier. And we know that Chico had a lot of physical issues in his life. He couldn't see well. His body wasn't at 100%, right? But he was able to write more than 400 books in his life because he believed in his mission. He knew that he wants to spread the Spiritist doctrine in Brazil. And besides writing the books and work as a Spiritist, he also had a job. So he was able to work for 92 years. And there was not one single book that kept on the shelf, on the drawer. He worked intensely on those, which require a lot of discipline from him and hard work. His spiritual mentor, Emmanuel, told him that by doing so, his mission will be fulfilled. And he said, with all the obstacles that he had to face, he was always grateful for the challenge that he had to face, because he said, if we don't face the challenge heads on, we get stuck in the same place. So he had a vision, and to follow, he wanted to spread the doctrine, and he used his willpower to do so. A vision and the willpower to do so. Then I went thinking, I went in a reflection. Is it possible that because we made so many mistakes in our previous lives, when we reincarnate, we bring unconscious fear in our minds that paralyze us to act? So we do have the spiritual influence from the spirits who try to tell us, no, you stay here, you're not going to go forward, don't go to the meeting, don't read the book, don't do the gospel, right? We have those influences. And we also have previous lives. We have connection with other spirits. So unconscious we do many times postpone many of the things because of fear, because somehow we think we have control of everything that happens in our lives, when in reality, God is in control. We do not have all the pieces of the puzzles which put our lives together. God has that. So we can feel insecure, we're fragile, why this is happening with me, I don't feel like going out and doing this or that, I don't want to talk to this person. And we don't know, we forget that God has all the pieces and everything has a reason to be that way, right? So if we do trust in God, we'll find the strength to move on. And sometimes life can be very difficult for all of us to move on, but we have to have faith and believe that despite all of what's happening, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Always light. So having faith can help us understand that suffering can be due to a previous or present mistakes. And by understanding, we'll gain confidence in our ability to deal with the suffering and move on. Jesus said on the New Testament, it's a part from Matthew 7:7, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find it. Knock and the door will be open to you. Jesus, for me, is helping us to understand procrastination, which is an orientation to our lives. Look for and you will find it. That means an action is needed. When people asked Jesus for cures, Jesus knew that the blind want to see, the paralyzed want to walk. However, Jesus asked them, what do you want? What do you want? Right? He was asking for the person to look deep inside and to find out, what do you want from this existence? So when Jesus asked us, what do you want? Sorry about that. It's okay. What do you want is for us to look, what are we here for, right? How are we going to deal with our fears, insecurities, and procrastination? The answer, if we look deep, the answer that we're looking for is going to activate an energy inside of us. And the energy is going to move us to do something, to take an action instead of procrastinating. So I like to look back at the Spirit Mitchell that I read in the first part from the books Heaven and Hell. Mitchell was good rather than evil when he was incarnated, but because he procrastinated, he didn't use his time and that incarnation according to what he should have done, he kind of wasted his incarnation. His passing was not an easy one, as if you remember, he was still attached to the shell of his body at the end. And he realized after a while that he should have lived a different life than what he did live. How many people we know, as death approaches, and they look back with regret, not doing things different, not spending time loving somebody more deeply, connecting with a neighbor they knew, really being present, loving more. How many we hear, I wish I had lived my life differently, right? We all know that life, this time in our life here, this life, is a precious gift from God. And spirits that we know that is an opportunity for us to grow, change, and evolve. So let's not procrastinate anymore. Let's make a conscious choice to align our thoughts and actions with the higher energies around us, with our dear mentors, and of course God. Yes, we are imperfect, all of us, otherwise we wouldn't be here. But with the support that is available to all of us, we can make this life count. Not doing anything good or bad shouldn't be an option if we want to grow, if we want to evolve. Let's not waste the precious gift of this reincarnation. So tonight I'd like to invite you to think about something that you always find yourself procrastinating about. Remember, motivation will come after you take the action. Choose something small and then move on to bigger projects. What can you do to change that issue? Think about something small, because if we go for something that is too big, we might give up and decide, okay, it's not worth it. But if we start a daily exercise, we can definitely move on. I will share a personal thing that I decided when I was doing this. It's very small, but every day I receive maybe 5 or 10 emails of parents looking for daycare. And I always found something else to do. Read an email, watch TV, my favorite show, read a magazine. And a week after, I will feel guilty. I say, oh my goodness, I didn't answer those emails. So after I started learning a little bit more about procrastination, okay, I get the email the same day, the parent will receive an answer. And it's amazing, a little change. I don't feel guilty anymore. The parents are getting an answer, which I'm sure they feel good about it too. And it is a different thing. So I find that I have actually more time by doing what I'm supposed to be doing than by leaving for the next day, next week, or next month. So I just hope that I could inspire all of you guys tonight to tackle procrastination heads on, so we can really use this life to amend our past and present mistakes, so we can really grow spiritually and move on. And don't be like Mitchell or any other spirits. They are so common that after this reincarnation is ended, look back, wow, I should have done that. And I think deep inside we all know a little bit of a mission. We don't need to be like a savior, but why not? Maybe we are here to make big changes, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be writing books, but it can be a big change. Loving somebody who has disabilities, special abilities, as we say today. It can be helping your neighbor with a good talk. Or it can be something bigger. Why not? We all have a mission. So let's use this opportunity and really take it and grow. So thank you.